living and working in our communities. The 14 state system universities provide students with access to high-value, in-demand programs that prepare them to meet the employment needs of the Commonwealth, as well as prepare them for successful lives as contributing, responsible citizens. More information on this important message can be found at pashi.edu/preparedforpa. That's pashi.edu/prepared4PA, or by using the hashtag on social media, hashtag preparedforPA. That's hashtag prepared4PA. So speaking of the Prepared for PA campaign, Kutztown University Radio just the other day spoke with Braden Hudak. He is the SGB student government president here at Kutztown University, who had comments about a trip he's taken to Harrisburg with fellow students for an event called Advocacy Day.
We have a lot of legislators who prioritize private institutions in this state, so it's our opportunity to remind them how important it is for the state system to be affordable and available to students in Pennsylvania.
Hudak says he and other students will be meeting with legislators Tuesday and Wednesday and rallying to keep public education affordable here in Pennsylvania and alive and well. We'll keep you posted as it unfolds. We'll take a look at the weather right after this.
What's going on, KUR? Michael here, back with your weekly update on the MCC events. Our week starts again on Wednesday with our salsa dance lessons at 6 p.m. in the Unity Room. Then on Thursday is Maker's Coffee House from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m., where your very own KU students will be presenting their artwork. The artworks that will be shown will also be for sale. If you'll be interested in purchasing a piece, just talk with the artist and you may be able to work something out. And lastly, on Friday is our MCC chat, where the topic will be discussed at the chat at 1 p.m. Also, the Multicultural Center is open from 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. Monday through Thursday, and on Friday from 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. So come stop in whenever you get a chance if you cannot make it to any of the events this week. Hope to see you all this week and have a great one.
Follow KU Sports at KUBears.com. Monsoon Mike says up and down. News at the top of every hour on KUR. I'm Mike Greggs.
Any views or opinions expressed on KUR are not necessarily those of Kutztown University, Kutztown University Student Government, Kutztown University Student Services Incorporated, KUR staff and management, or other affiliated organizations.
Kutztown Live. KUR's campus and community interest radio magazine. You can always be a part of Kutztown Live by giving us a call at 610-683-4859. And now, this is Kutztown Live.
Hello, and welcome to the radio voice of Kutztown University, KUR. You are listening to Kutztown Live. This is... Yes, I don't know. Hello, my name is Laura, and I have a fabulous co-host with me.
Juliana, hello. Welcome to Kutztown Live. Who do we have today here?
I'm very proud to introduce Julia Laudadio from the Andrew Goodman Foundation, talking a little bit about the Red Sand Project. Hello.
Hi, I'm actually here today representing the social workers and advocates at Kutztown, but I did appear previously on KUR as the student representative for AGF. So
perfect. Yes, we're happy to have you back. So what can you tell us a little bit about the Red Sand Project?
So the Red Sand Project is an engaging, interactive presentation. The purpose is to engage with a public audience to spread awareness of human trafficking and to offer literature with information on how to take action. Basically, the way it works is it's participatory artwork that uses the sidewalk. It's an intervention where the volunteers will spread red sand in the cracks of the sidewalk to metaphorically represent those who fall through the cracks of society by, human trafficking or sex trafficking. So this is going to be happening on campus, and mainly it's to give an opportunity for people to question, connect, and take action against vulnerabilities that can lead to human trafficking and exploitation.
Wow, that's really fascinating, and it sounds like it's really important, obviously very important work. Now, what can you tell us a little bit about human trafficking and where it is right now in our society?
So I guess there's this very common conception, and it's not unusual, that human trafficking is something that happens far away. It's something that happens on the perimeters of society, but in fact it happens every day, even close to home. in our backyards, so to speak. And so, some of the facts that I can tell you are that it's estimated that 36 million people are enslaved worldwide. There are actually tools to show you how much of your daily life might be affected by slavery, to show you like how close to home it can hit. One really good example is when you consume chocolate or coffee or those goods that are not fair trade. They can often be produced by people who are trapped in slavery and exploited for labor. So there's a conception that human trafficking mostly involves sex slavery, but in fact that's only 22% of human trafficking, and 78% is labor slavery. So kind of what I mentioned about these goods and these things that are part of our daily life could actually be provided for us through human exploitation. So there's a lot of information about who is most vulnerable, and I would like to get to that today. But just to give a definition, human trafficking is a form of modern-day slavery that subjects children, women, and men to force, fraud, or coercion for the purpose of commercial sexual exploitation or forced labor. So it's kind of this all-encompassing term for those.
Wow. That's very heavy, very deep stuff. So who is affected by human trafficking?
So anybody can be, but the most vulnerable populations include individuals who lack strong support networks, are facing financial strains, have experienced violence in the past, or who are marginalized by society. So you sort of think of people who might be homeless and go to a shelter and they're vulnerable. They're looking for a way out, and it's vulnerable populations who maybe have. They don't have support networks, and they can easily be sort of, I want to say, like grabbed and taken into this exploitation. Another most vulnerable population is youth who identify as LGBTQ, youth without shelter and social supports, refugees, and migrant workers. So you're thinking about people who don't have a lot to hold on to, people who don't have support, who are looking for a better life, like refugees and migrant workers, and maybe, they're kind of taken into this because they're vulnerable.
Okay, so how does the Red Sand Project support these people?
So I think the main purpose of the Red Sand Project is to spread awareness about this issue. These installations have taken place in all 50 states and more than 70 countries around the world. To participate, basically, you can have a classroom, a conference, a campus event, and you have these opportunities for discussion. And then after the interactive part where we're teaching, we're engaging, folks who pass by are asking questions, and it's just a real opportunity to create awareness. And then we give information about how to advocate for these people who are falling through the cracks of society. We let lawmakers and investment managers know that you don't want to live in a world with slavery. So that includes calling your representatives. That includes writing letters to your representatives. That includes petitions. And then I think the biggest part is to start to ask. So ask when you go out to coffee shops, when you go to places where you're going to be eating like food that was clearly made abroad or things like that, and just ask, hey, where was this sourced from? Is this fair trade? And so just to be aware of the impact that your purchasing power has. We give opportunity to, for people to learn where to volunteer, where to donate, and where to have conversations. So we're going to have literature from VAST, the Valley Against Sex Trafficking. We're going to have literature from the Crime Victims Council of the Lehigh Valley. We're going to have information about Safe Berks in Reading. So it's going to be mainly focused on awareness and education about this very important issue in our society.
That's really great. I mean, do you have any misconceptions that you think you would like to clear up about, either the Red Sand Project or just in general about human trafficking?
Yeah. Well, I think that the project itself can be sort of, okay, so you go to the table and the passersby are going to have an opportunity to actually lay the sand in the cracks themselves, and they'll leave the sand at the table. They won't be able to, spread them in other places around campus. We are going to have 3 locations on campus. So, you're going to come up, you're going to learn a lot, and I think that the Red Sand organization doesn't want it to be that the conversation ends at the table. We want this to be something that stays in people's minds. So, maybe it wouldn't necessarily be a misconception, but I don't want it to be that, they come up and they have the conversation, and when they walk away, they forget. Not that we have to think about it all the time, because it is heavy stuff, but just to have that awareness. And then some of the things I've mentioned about, these facts about human trafficking. Maybe a misconception is that it only happens in impoverished countries, or it happens to people who travel alone, or it happens to people, like, there are these stereotypes about that. But a little bit of information about where it can happen includes so many places in the United States as well. So although it is illegal in every country, it exists in farm fields, factories, mines, construction sites, logging camps, restaurants, hotels, retail stores, brothels, and private homes. So even private homes to this day are people can be subject to exploitation within private homes and all of those other areas. So, it's not that we all have to feel bad and like, you can take this quiz on like slaveryfootprint.org, and you can take this quiz and think, oh my gosh, I've made such a negative impact. But I think the idea is that going forward, after going to this tabling event and after talking to folks there that day that we're having it, that's all we want. We want to spread awareness, and if it's something that really inspires you, then we want you to take away from the table the opportunity to volunteer or go to these organizations, call your representatives, advocate for the victims, and things like that.
Okay. Wow. That sounds awesome.
And you said this will be taking place on Kutztown's campus, the Red Sand event, and when will that be happening?
Mm-hmm. So it's Wednesday, April 17th from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m., and there's going to be 3 locations all day. There's going to be 1 table with the art installation on the DMZ. And then the other locations are up here on North Campus, so by the bear statue outside of the library. And then the third one is right here outside of the MSU, in between the MSU and the Cub Cafe, so over on that side. And each of those will have the artwork installation and the opportunity for folks to come and hear the same kind of information. So we wanted to spread it out over campus as much as possible.
Okay, so what are we doing other than these types of tabling events? And, these are obviously great ways to spread awareness, but what are, so you represent social workers unions and things like that here on campus, right? So what are social workers doing to try and prevent this in the grand scheme? Mm-hmm.
So I'm pretty sure that seniors in the BSW program have internship placements. So when you're a senior in the social work program, you have an internship, and there are some internship placements where there are opportunities to advocate for victims of sex trafficking. But always we can take action by calling our reps. So that's something that social workers will encourage for everyone to be advocates in whatever way they can. The Social Workers and Advocates at Kutztown, or SWAC, is the organization that I'm the president of, and this is the first time we're having an event based around advocacy in human trafficking. Last semester, the Department of Social Work hosted the Global Environment Conference, which is an annual conference here, and the topic of that whole conference was on human trafficking. So the Department of Social Work hosts a community forum in the spring and the Global Environment Conference in the fall. And those are always opportunities for people to come and learn about social justice issues and issues in our society that, aren't thought about all the time. The Women's Center is getting involved with this with the Red Sand Project as well, because, as I said, women and children as refugees or can be the most vulnerable, some of the most vulnerable populations. So I think this is more of a collaborative effort. It is following up from the Global Environment Conference from last semester, but it's the first time SWAC has had an event based on human trafficking, so we're excited for it.
Well, that sounds really amazing. And so how can people find out more on social media?
So we have a Twitter. It is SWAC Kutztown. It's SWA and then Kutztown. So that's our Twitter handle. We do also have an Instagram, I believe, and it would be the same handle. And then we have a Facebook group, but that is sort of for members of SWAC. So if you wanted to get involved with SWAC and social justice efforts or something that inspire you, you can stop by the social work department and they'll give you all the information that you need to get involved.
And you need to be a social work major to be involved in the club?
Absolutely not. We invite everyone who's interested in these issues and advocacy and things like that.
Okay. Well, great. Thank you so much.
Yeah, and where can we find, can people join the social work club?
Mm-hmm.
Or where do you guys meet and all that kind of information?
So SWAC meets Tuesdays at 11 in Old Main 25. And if you are looking to get involved, I think the easiest thing to do would be to stop by the Department of Social Work, or I guess just email me. I don't have like a specific official point of contact. Our advisor is a professor in the social work department, Dr. Stoffler, or me, Julia Laudadio. You'll see my name on this podcast once it's posted, and we invite everyone to get involved.
All right. Well, thank you so very much for coming and sharing all that information with us today.
Yeah, definitely. Very informational. And I think that's really important that we open up conversations about this.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right. Well, great. All right. Up next will be some friends from the Women's Center. We got a lot more great conversation coming up only here on Kutztown Live.
Arc Point Labs of Reading specializes in drug, alcohol, and DNA testing solutions for families, workplaces, and life in general. Conveniently located at 2208 Quarry Drive, Suite 207 in the Van Reed Office Center behind Austin's Restaurant. Walk-ins welcome. 484-926-2505 or arcpointlabs.com/Reading for more information. Arc Point Labs of Reading is a member of the Northeast Berks Chamber of Commerce, a 501c6 which helps members grow business relationships, raise business profiles, attract new customers, and partner with area nonprofits and schools to promote collaboration and goodwill. The Northeast Berks Chamber of Commerce is your premier resource and voice for trusted local business. The Chamber advances regional economic and cultural growth through supportive collaboration with business and community organizations, as well as government. For more information, call the Northeast Berks Chamber of Commerce at 610-683-8860. That's 610-683-8860, or visit their website at northeastberkschamber.com.
Since the early 70s, Friends Incorporated, located at 658D Noble Street in Kutztown, has helped thousands of families in northeastern Berks County strengthen relationships with themselves and their community through a wide range of outreach services. Every family and individual is offered case management services, food pantry assistance, counseling, support groups, and program referrals. Contact Friends Incorporated at 610-683-7790. That's 610-683-7790. Or visit their website, www.friendinc.org. Friend Incorporated, helping our neighbors to strengthen our community.
Welcome back to Kutztown Live. My name is Laura with my fabulous co-host
Juliana. Hello, hello. How are we today?
We are excited to be back here for another wonderful week of KU Live. We just heard from Julia Laudadio from the Social Workers Club here on campus to talk about the Red Sand Project. Got exciting stuff happening here on campus, opening up really important conversations. Good stuff. Now we're going to continue that streak of really important conversations. We have Trisha from the Women's Center. Hi, Trisha.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Excited to have you back. Life is good. What do you have to share with us today?
I am sharing information about an event that's coming up this Thursday. The first event will be taking place from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m., and that's the Clothesline Project. The Clothesline Project is ultimately a visual demonstration representation of domestic violence and violence against women ultimately. It was created in 1990 and it started in Massachusetts, and ultimately people can come to the multi-purpose room and decorate a t-shirt if they are a survivor of domestic violence or if they are an ally to somebody that, you know, is a survivor of domestic violence as well. And we will also have displays of previous t-shirts that were created as well. So it's a pretty powerful demonstration and just visualization of how many people are affected and, you know, the violence against women that actually happens. And then the second event that is happening on Thursday is Take Back the Night. That one starts, we're opening the doors at 6:30, but the event itself will start at 7 and it goes on till roughly around 9:30. So we will have a little opening from the president and the vice president of FMLA, which is an organization here on campus that focuses a lot on sexual assault and just kind of getting a lot of education out there about feminism and those things. And then we will have some speakers from Safe Berks and It's On Us and things like that. And then we open up the floor to people that are survivors of sexual assault to speak about their experience and kind of literally take back the night and kind of be more empowered by being a survivor. And then after that, we will do a silent vigil for survivors, and then we do a little march around campus. And so it will be a super powerful thing that I get to experience. I've never actually taken part in any of these events, so it'll be a fun time.
That sounds great. So what can you tell me more about the Clothesline Project? What are you hoping to goal, or what are you hoping to goal? What are you hoping to achieve with the Clothesline Project?
Sure. So just looking at their national page, they have 4 main purposes to this project. One is to ultimately just bear witness to the survivors as well as the victims of the war against women or violence against women. And it's to help the healing process for people who have lost a loved one, or, you know, for survivors that have actually experienced domestic violence. And then to educate, document, and raise society's awareness of the extent of the problem of violence against women. So anyone that walks into the multi-purpose room on Thursday is going to see this visual representation of how many people have been affected by this, and it kind of just raises everybody's awareness about what's actually happening. And then it provides a nationwide network of support, encouragement, and information for other communities that want to start a Clothesline Project as well. So it's just a public display. Each shirt is decorated to represent a particular women's experience. It can be by the survivor themselves or someone that cares about the person. So like I said, an ally, someone that maybe has a family member that was a survivor of domestic violence and things like that.
Okay, what do you think the most important thing to take away from the general conversation about domestic violence is?
That it happens, and it's a lot more common than I think people realize. So when I give my heart presentations to classes, we do a big section on relationship violence, and I give the signs of an unhealthy relationship. I talk about the types of abuse, and the one question in my survey is, what is the most valuable information that you learned? And the majority of them always say the signs of an unhealthy relationship. And to me, that indicates that we aren't talking about this enough, and there's not enough awareness of how common it is for someone to be in an abusive relationship.
Okay, so what are some of those signs?
Manipulation. That sounds kind of, common, that's the first one you probably think of maybe, but I mean, when someone's trying to manipulate you, you're not really going to see it in the moment, and manipulation can kind of manifest itself in kind of the, well, I'm doing this because I love you type of way. A lot of survivors hear that when they're being abused and when they're being manipulated. Isolation's a big one. When your partner is telling you that they don't like your friends because of XYZ and they're not really valid reasons, and they're kind of trying to get you to not hang out with your friends as much because they want to spend time with you. That can be a really big one. Intensity. If you feel like you have to walk on eggshells all the time around your partner, that's a pretty good red flag that maybe something is not okay. I have a little handout that I give and I'm trying to visualize it right now. What are some other ones? Yeah, I'll go with those for now.
That's okay. That totally makes sense. So do you feel that the Clothesline Project helps further that goal of opening up that discussion?
Yeah, definitely. It definitely opens up that discussion, and it allows, like I said, for that healing aspect of it too, because when someone is in an abusive relationship, their conceptualization of a healthy relationship is changed, and trying to get them back into a place where they feel safe and they're in control of their own situation is such a key factor in that. And I think that when we have events like this, it allows for those survivors to seriously start feeling like they're important, and like that what they went through was not okay, and that they never deserved to be abused.
Wow, that's a really important message. Absolutely. Okay, so then now, given you obviously, you know, the not the Red Sand Project. Oh my goodness, the Clothesline Project is super important because that's going to be during the day, and so the Take Back the Night, does that connected at all with the Clothesline Project, or is that something separate? Like, how is that being handled, being on the same day?
So they're technically separate events, but the actual acts of domestic violence or relationship violence and sexual violence kind of go hand in hand. You will typically see both of them happening in the same relationship. So it kind of makes sense for them to be on the same day. However, so during the day we'll have the Clothesline Project, which will focus mostly on domestic violence, and then at night, that's when we'll support and recognize and honor survivors of sexual assault. So it's kind of like, during the day we'll do this, and then at night we'll do this, but both kind of, you know, issues get to be recognized.
Okay, so what do you think are some common misconceptions about sexual violence, and, you know, what are you trying to kind of move towards as far as opening up discussion with Take Back the Night?
The biggest thing that I think is super important when you're interacting with someone that discloses to you that they're a survivor of sexual assault is to believe them. I find that it is such an uphill battle just to get people to believe somebody that says that they're sexually assaulted. I find that a lot of people are like, well, did you say no? Did you try to resist it? And so a lot of times people's first response is kind of these like little victim blamey responses. And so I find that to be like one of the biggest takeaways and important thing to take into consideration.
Okay. So when one walks into Take Back the Night, what should they expect to see or experience from some of these speakers that you have and such like that?
That's a good question, because I've never actually experienced Take Back the Night, so this will be my first time. But I'm imagining that it will just be such a emotionally moving and empowering night. Yeah, I'm not exactly sure what to say on that one, because I've never experienced it. So
okay, that's understandable. Now, you say that they're going to be speakers from Safe Berks and that kind of thing. Now, what should one expect from something that they have to say?
Sure. So as far as opening it, they're just going to have an opening little, you know, speech that they're going to do about it. And then from Safe Berks, Stacey Jordan is going to come and talk to us or have a little speech. And the speech can be a poem. It can be a story. It can be whatever they choose. It's just to kind of kick off the event. But Stacey Jordan is an amazing person, and I'm plugging her right now. She's our Safe Berks legal advocate that comes to our campus. She's here on Thursdays from 10 to 2. And so what is so amazing about her is that she is a fully trained advocate, and she's a paralegal as well, so she is able to provide a lot of like legal resources. Like, she can help you get a PFA. She can help you prepare your court hearing documents, your statements for court, things like that.
Now, for those who don't know, what is a PFA?
A protection from abuse order. So that one specifically helps people for domestic violence situations. There's a very similar one for protecting against sexual violence as well, or sexual abuse. But they are just pretty much court orders that, talking about a PFA, if the person was they can't come within a X amount of feet of you, and if they do, then they can be arrested. So it can provide a lot of protection for someone that is fleeing a domestic violence situation.
Okay. And so is that helpful? Like, you make that happen through the Women's Center, right?
Yeah. So she has like quote unquote office hours, like that 10 to 2 time frame. She is always in the Women's Center at that time. She has if anyone that is ever interested in coming and meeting with her, we do have a number for her to give to students to set up appointments with her and stuff. So, I'm not going to give that on air because,
Mm-hmm. Definitely. So, yeah, that makes sense.
Well, I think that's really great that you're making it more of a conversational thing. I think things like that in previous years have been like, I don't know, it's not much of a conversational thing, and I think in these past few years, things like this have been coming more into more conversation, and it definitely, especially on college campuses, because a lot of different things happen here, and you have all different sorts of people from all different backgrounds. So I really think that's great that you're giving people the opportunity to go with similar people where they feel comfortable to talk about those things, because I know a lot of people can feel alone when they're going through difficult times like that. So I think it's a good opportunity for people.
Absolutely. So if, someone listening to this, either in the podcasted version or if they're listening live right now, has to take one thing away, what do you think is a good thing to take away?
That you're not alone, and that there's people here to support you and to help you through such a difficult time. There's confidential resources that they can seek out. The counseling center is a fully confidential place. Stacy Jordan is fully confidential. Me and my supervisor, we are not fully confidential. We only have what is called limited confidentiality, where if someone would want to come talk about being sexually assaulted or they're in a domestic violence situation, we would have to report it to public safety if it's happening on campus, but we don't have to include the survivor's name. But sometimes even the idea of reporting is very scary to people and are not in a place to report. So it's important to also know where your confidential places or your confidential resources are. We also just have a bunch of other pamphlets that people can have, but they're not alone at all. It's, the statistic is 1 in 4 women are sexually assaulted on campus. So, it is super common. It's just we don't talk about it enough. So,
okay. Well, thank you so much. We really appreciate you coming in.
Yeah, it was a good time.
Yes, everybody keep an eye out for both of these really exciting things happening this week. But we will be right back here on Kutztown Live, only on the radio voice of Kutztown University, KUR.
Ray's Pizza di Sogno is the newest buzz on Main Street. Located at 478 West Main, Ray's has specialty Italian pinwheels, handmade mozzarella, and hot slices at the ready. To order your favorites, dial 484-648-2720. That's 484-648-2720. Or order online at rayspizzadisogno.com. That's rayspizza, DASOGNO.com. Mention KU Radio for a special treat. Integrity Services and Solutions is a local independent insurance agency specializing in employee benefits, Medicare plans, and human resource services. True personal service with a commitment to excellence. Integrity Services and Solutions, 610-939-9593. That's 610-939-9593, or on the web at www.integrityservicesandsolutions.com. Integrity Services and Solutions is a member of the Northeast Berks Chamber of Commerce, a 501c6 which helps members grow business relationships, raise business profiles, attract new customers, and partner with area nonprofits and schools to promote collaboration and goodwill. Power Marketing International provides leading-edge web design and marketing services to help businesses get found online, impress and engage viewers, and convert them into repeat customers. PowerMarketingInternational.com for more information. That's PowerMarketingInternational.com. Power Marketing International is a member of the Northeast Berks Chamber of Commerce, a 501c6 which helps members grow business relationships, raise business profiles, attract new customers, and partner with area nonprofits and schools to promote collaboration and goodwill. Robert Geringer, located at 100 Tomahawk Drive in Kutztown, is a certified orthopedic manual therapist as well as a board-certified clinical specialist in both sports and orthopedics. Bob specializes in the treatment of neck and back pain and believes in an intensive hands-on approach to treating his patients, emphasizing both corrective manual techniques and exercises to facilitate the changes in patient response during each session. 484-426-2021. That's 484-426-2021 for more information. Robert Geringer is affiliated with physical therapy at St. Luke's and is a member of the Northeast Berks Chamber of Commerce, a 501c6 which helps members grow business relationships, raise business profiles, attract new customers, and partner with area nonprofits and schools to promote collaboration and goodwill. Celebrate Together Event Rentals and Design is based in northern Berks County and specializes in creating customized celebrations that fit the client's style and budget. Whether it be holiday parties, ribbon cuttings, birthdays, anniversaries, or weddings, if you can celebrate it, we can decorate it is their motto. Celebrate Together Event Rentals and Design offers free consultations by voice or text. 610-763-9336. That's 610-763-9336. Celebrate Together Event Rentals and Design is a member of the Northeast Berks Chamber of Commerce, a 501c6 which helps members grow business relationships, raise business profiles, attract new customers, and partner with area nonprofits and schools to promote collaboration and goodwill.
Hello, 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 and welcome back to Kutztown Live, Kutztown University's campus and community talk show. I am Juliana.
And I'm your co-host, Laura. I forgot my own name for a second. What?
Who am I? It's that time of the year. No one knows what's going on in the world. It
Very
seems
true.
everyone's in like a panic trying to get things done for the end of the year.
Very true.
So today is April 9th, and there's a lot of weird national holidays that are going on today. I have for us all today. So there's a couple that I have here to share. The first one is today is National Unicorn Day.
Fun.
The second is National Name Yourself Day. And I don't really know what that means, and I was trying to kind of figure it out. But I guess if you could change your name, what would you change it to?
I don't know. I don't know because I've been myself for so long that.
And you look like Laura. Like people, you like fit into your
You
name.
think so?
And you know, like when you look at people, you're like, what would I change your name to? Like, I don't know.
I don't know. I don't really have an answer to that.
So it's National Name Yourself Day. So if you want to change your name, go ahead.
Why
Today's
is
the
that a
day to do
holiday?
it. I don't know.
Okay.
It is also a National Library Workers Day. So shout out to the library workers.
That's fun.
When was the last time you read a book?
Today.
Oh, really? What book?
I'm actually reading Stephen King right now, or not Stephen King, Stephen Hawking right now. Yikes, that's a big jump. Stephen Hawking's Answers to the Big Questions. That's a really good one because it's digestible in small chunks. So I basically read one chapter at a time because it's pretty dense.
So are you a reader?
Yes.
Do you like to read?
Very much so.
Favorite book?
Oh, that's picking a favorite child.
I'm so sorry.
Oh, I have so many.
So
I really love Agatha Christie, and I'm thinking my favorite would probably be The Orient Express. You know, the one that was made, Murder on the Orient Express by, it was made into a movie a few years ago. The movie was not as good.
Agatha Christie, did she do Mousetrap? Is
Yes.
that a thing?
Mhm.
I saw when I was in London.
I saw that too. I saw that too when I was there.
The play or whatever for
Yes.
it. And side note, if you want to go to London with Kutztown, they are taking applications to go. So
Absolutely.
there's posters hanging around. Go.
Yes. Are you a reader?
No.
Okay, that's fine.
I read what's necessary, I guess. I wish I was, like, I tried to be, but I'm working on it.
Okay,
Maybe.
fair enough.
It is also National Chinese Almond Cookie Day, which is pretty specific. So, and also National Cherish an Antique Day. So if you've got a nice antique sitting around your house, you better cherish it today. I was at Renninger's Farmers Market this past weekend, and they have, like, I don't know if you've ever been there, like, in the back, they have, like, a huge just section of antiques. Like, it's crazy. Like, it's literally like the junk, like, it's just crazy. Like, they have just the craziest things. I can't even describe
Interesting.
it. So in some, I guess, I looked up fun news to find some of this. So it's odd news. For a new Guinness World Record, an Australian pizza chef broke a Guinness World Record today by putting together a pizza with blank, I'm not going to share it yet, blank varieties of cheese on top. How many cheeses do you think you would need to put on a pizza to make a world record?
8?
Okay, so he originally held this position when he had 99 different cheeses on a pizza, but he later lost the title to someone else when they made 111 cheese pizza. So he created a pizza with 154 different cheeses. So congratulations to Johnny DeFrancesco for that world record there. 154.
I didn't know there were 154 different types of cheese.
Me either.
That's a lot.
It is a lot. And then I don't know why, like, I was looking at what was trending on Twitter and, like, different questions, and they do, like, Tuesday thoughts are always trending, just like random things people say. And I know Connor High, our VP of KUR, is over there in the production room. So I'll take your input on this question here, too, if you want to jump on in. Do you think a hot dog is a sandwich?
Oh, I'm so glad you asked that question.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm so glad. All right, this was my episode. All right.
Oh, wow, Connor is ready.
All right, yes, a hot dog is a sandwich.
I would like to mention that this is actually a really good question to get a bunch of kids to be friends. Because I, as a camp counselor over the summer, used this a lot on, like, the first day of camp when they wouldn't know each other. And they'd be like, I don't know. A really good icebreaker question is just to get a bunch of, like, 16-year-olds at a table, and you sit there and you say, so is a hot dog a sandwich? Some of them say yes. Some of them say no. They argue about it forever, and then they're friends.
Connor, you were pretty sure that it is. Why do you say?
So I actually have a definition saved to my phone as to what defines a sandwich.
Okay.
And a sandwich is anything. It has two slices of bread and then a product in between. That is a definition of a sandwich. And if you ask me, that sounds pretty dead on to a hot dog.
Okay, so I feel like I also agree that a hot dog is a sandwich, but you said it's 2 pieces of bread. Like, a hot dog bun is 1 piece of bread.
It's two.
It's 2
They're
that are
just
connected.
joined. Yeah.
So does that mean it's still 1 though?
Some argued. Oh, again, I'm just my sources right now are just my campers from over the summer who I just really having some flashbacks here. Some of them said it was a taco because it's a type of grain or wheat that is centered with some type of protein or meat in the middle. So essentially, some said it was a taco. Some said a taco was a sandwich. Some said the pizza was a sandwich. It was like a whole thing. But I think that it is a sandwich. And I argue that only because of the fact that it is, like, I mean, you don't think of it as a sandwich because you call it a hot dog. And a burger's a sandwich, too.
Yes, thank you.
Because it's meat between bread. You know what I mean? And not that, granted, peanut butter and jelly, like, that's still a sandwich, too. But
I feel like a hamburger is so much more similar to a sandwich because on a sandwich you have, like, your mayonnaise, lettuce, tomato, onion, your turkey, whatever sandwich, and instead of the whatever meat or select thing on a typical sandwich, it's just a burger. But it's a sub's a sandwich.
A sub is a sandwich. And also think, what about the Chicago dog? You know, it has pickles and jalapenos and onions and tomatoes and stuff. I mean, all of those like the traditional Chicago dog, that's a hot dog as a base, is a sandwich because it has all of those toppings like any other sandwich would say. I don't know. That's just me. Personal belief over here. But that's just me. Any other probing questions?
So now, as we were talking, I was like, I remember there was like something similar to a hot dog that I couldn't remember. Like that was really controversial.
Like is a
It's something
is
a
a Pop-Tart
sandwich.
or ravioli?
Oh my god.
Never heard that one. Here's one for you. It's Die Hard, a Christmas movie.
I've never seen it. I can't tell you.
Yeah, I've never.
We need
seen
Matt
really?
Devine for that one.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, me personally, I think it is. I got in this whole argument with my parents over Christmas, whether or not it was a Christmas movie.
Interesting.
Like, the movie came out in July, all right? But the whole theme of the movie is that he's saving the Christmas party. So, like, he's not saving the Christmas party, but he's saving the people that went to the Christmas party.
Interesting.
So it's that whole debate, is it actually a Christmas movie, even though there's, like, 0 Christmas lessons in there? It's not your typical Hallmark movie.
Interesting.
But that's just me.
Okay, understandable. Moving over a little bit to some more serious news. Sorry, I just going over.
Hot dog sandwich. You want to hear some news?
I'm gonna do a hard rotation here. According to theweek.com, the 5 things you need to know right now, Republicans are expressing concern over Trump's DHS shakeup. So some Republicans in Congress are expressing concern over President Trump's shakeup of the Department of Homeland Security. A bunch of people have resigned and are moving around, and people are being dismissed. But basically, yeah, so people are concerned. Keep an eye on that one, I suppose. I'm just summarizing that one. Also, the redacted Mueller report will be released within a week. The Attorney General William Barr on Tuesday said he will make a public a redacted version of the special counsel Robert Mueller's report on Russian interference in the 2016 election. He testified before the House Appropriations Committee on Tuesday for the first time since releasing his summary of Mueller's principal conclusions, saying his redacted version of the report will be color-coded to show why information was withheld. He says he does not currently intend to provide Congress with a copy of the unredacted report, although he would see if there's a way to accommodate them with more information. They're working on that, so keep an eye on that one as well. Also, Israelis to decide between a centrist rival in the national elections. They're kind of working on that too. No party has ever won a majority of the 120 seats that is from the centrist, so they're trying to decide that versus the prime minister, who is vying for a history-making 5th term. So he's had the last 4 consecutively, and so they're kind of talking about that and trying to figure out, who they're going to elect. So good stuff like that. Also, a federal judge on Monday issued an injunction against the Trump administration's migrant protection protocols policy, which keeps asylum seekers in Mexico while they wait for their cases to go through the immigration court system. Under the laws, migrants have the right to seek asylum once they reach U.S. soil. Typically, they are housed in detention facilities or released into the U.S. In his ruling blocking the policy, U.S. District Court Judge Richard Seaborg in San Francisco says his order will go into effect on April 12th. And within 2 days, the 11 migrants who filed the lawsuit must be allowed to enter the U.S. And the Trump administration enacted its policy in January with outgoing Homeland Security Secretary Kirstjen Nielsen saying that last week she would expand the program. So there is that. But actually, if you're in the mood for more, I can't speak.
You're in the mood.
If you're in the mood for more news, definitely go to theweek.com, but I'm going to move it over to some sports things, which conveniently enough, again, we have Connor High guesting on our show right now, and if you really like sports, you can listen for the next 2 hours, and he and Sam Sebia are going to talk more about this. But Virginia beats Texas Tech to win the first NCAA men's basketball championship. So it ended Monday night, March Madness ended Monday night in an 85-77 overtime win by the Virginia Cavaliers over the Texas Tech Red Raiders, both of whom were vying for their first ever men's basketball championship. Texas Tech took an early lead after regulation time ended in a tie, but Virginia then scored 11 unanswered points, 8 from the free throw line. So DeAndre Hunter, I think that's how you pronounce it, notched a career-high 27 points for the Cavaliers, including a three-pointer that sent the game into overtime. Virginia savored its first ever national championship, all the more because last year it became the first number 1 seed to lose to a number 16 seed in the first round. Connor,
yes.
You are more educated than I on this. Please, give us your thoughts.
Virginia just kind of seemed to be that team of destiny this year. The past 3 games that they were in, they were losing in the closing seconds by at least 2 points. Like even last night, to send the game to overtime, they were losing by 2 with like 5 seconds left. They got a lucky bounce off the free throw and then, drained the mid-range jumper to send it to overtime. And then just from there, in overtime, they got this insane block. I'm drawing a blank on who got the block, but it was ridiculous for both teams, really. It was a really good game. A lot of people were complaining that without Duke, without Michigan State, without some of these bigger name schools like Kentucky or North Carolina, that this was kind of going to be a snooze fest. But I think this game was the exact opposite. I mean, this game had everything. I mean, it was right down to the wire. It was close basically the entire way through. I think Virginia had the game to 9 at one point, and then Texas Tech came back and obviously took the lead in the closing seconds before Virginia hit the buzzer beater to send it to overtime. But I mean, it was a really good game, really overall really good season for both teams, and I think that's something that they can both build on for next year.
Interesting. So you're saying that it was not as boring as the Super Bowl?
No, see, don't even get me started on the Super Bowl, because the Super Bowl, I had some optimism for the Super Bowl, because you're going up, it's Sean McVay's high-powered offense, and then you've got Tom Brady, who Sam always calls him the GOAT. I'm a little indifferent on that.
The GOAT. Okay.
But for those who are listening, greatest of all time.
Yes.
But yeah, no, that game was just bad overall. I think me and Sam did a whole hour-long rant on the Super Bowl, just how poor it was from a game perspective, and even the entertainment perspective, like commercial-wise and halftime, everything was just. It was not a good Super Bowl. And I'm hoping that they bounce back this year.
Okay, but you're thinking that the NCAA men's basketball championship was the GOAT, essentially.
Yeah, it was substantially better than the Super Bowl.
Okay.
The World Series was pretty entertaining, too. I mean, you could basically, there's a lot of really big championships that you could throw in there that were really entertaining.
All right.
Those are a few of them, yeah.
So now what do you think, what are your predictions for next season? I mean, do you think that Virginia and Texas Tech will become bigger giants in the basketball realm? Basketball realm?
Well, like you said earlier, Virginia was the number 1 seed last year, and they were one of the top teams in the country for obvious reasons. I think they'll be right back up there, whether it be 1, 2, 3 seed, and I think they'll still continue that dominance. Texas Tech, they're kind of sneaky good too. They're not a team that's they're going to be on the radar by a lot of scouts, a lot of teams, but they've got some sneaky good talent over there. They've got great coaching. I anticipate. I don't know if they'll both necessarily make it back to the championship, but I at least anticipate decent runs, probably at the very least for both of them, Sweet 16.
Okay, interesting. What makes coaching good for college basketball?
I'd say coaching plays more a pivotal role than NBA, because you have a lot of guys that are they're raw developmental talent, and you kind of have to hone them in a little bit. Some of these guys are coming from places where, actually I shouldn't say some of them. I mean, if you look at Kentucky or Villanova, even Kansas, all these guys were without a doubt the best at their high school. It wasn't even close. And here they are, they're now taking a team environment where the talent level is about on par with them, and it's something that they're not totally used to. So you kind of have to hone them in a little bit, and you really have to have an organized offensive and defensive style, or otherwise, other coaches are going to be able to feed off of that. You have to be able to take away other teams' advantages, disadvantages, and just play them up. Do what you can do to take full advantage there.
Interesting. So in these types of situations, I mean, what makes the teams great? What makes the final two?
A lot of it has to do, for college basketball, it isn't necessarily even talent. I think it has a lot to do, there's a lot of luck that goes into it, because even the best teams have their off nights, as we saw with Duke a couple times. I mean, Duke was considered far and away the best team in the entire country, and they went in as the number 1 seed, and everybody had them picked, to win the tournament, including me. And, they had their rough games. There are times where guys that are, normally clutch are really good for the first 3.5, or not 3.5 quarters, first half and a half, so about 30 minutes into the game, and then the last 10 minutes, they start to disappear, and their shot's not falling for them. And it's all about managing droughts, being able to just score sometimes, because that's the hardest thing. It's all a mental state thing, really.
Interesting. Okay. I don't know a whole lot about sports. The only thing I know is my cousins went to NC State, so I have to root for them because that's a thing. But That's interesting because, you hear a lot of people and you hear bits and pieces from people about how they feel about certain things. And it's interesting to know a bit more context,
Right. I'm somebody that, growing up, sports was, always on. Even now, 80% of the television watched in my house is sports, whether it be baseball, basketball, football, hockey.
Sure.
My dad's been a coach. He's been a player. He's coached me. I've been a player. My brothers, even my sister played for a little bit. It's just something that I'm always around, and I even follow, nonstop on Twitter.
Okay.
So, it's my life, basically.
Interesting. Well, you've been a wonderful sports correspondent today. What is your social media? What can you tell us more about you as a, host of your fabulous talk show here on KUR?
Well, I will be on in about 6 minutes, roughly, for zone coverage on Tuesdays from 4 to 6. Normally with Sam Sebia, but Sam won't be able to do it today. So you're going to get 2 hours of me talking sports. It's going to be wonderful. I'm looking forward to it. If you do want to follow me on social media, you can follow me on Twitter at ConnorRJ You can follow me on Instagram at ConnorRJ Facebook is just my name, Connor High. So that you can normally find me just about anywhere.
Interesting. All right, great. Well, do you have anything more for us, Miss Juliana?
I just looked out the window and I'm texting all my roommates in a frantic panic because I left my windows open and I have plants sitting on the windowsill and I know they're about to all fall off the window because it's raining outside and it's supposed to be windy and thunderstorming. So
oh, true. Actually, I need to go back and fix my plants as well.
Sprint home and between class here.
Yes.
But that's it. Thank you so much.
Oh wait, did you go to the botany club sale?
I did.
You did.
I did. I got 3 plants.
You got 3 plants. Okay. That just made me think of it because of the plants and such.
I sure did.
At the Women's Empowerment Day the other day, they also gave out plants. So I got a hyacinth and I repotted it and it's blooming nicely.
It looks so cute. I saw yours in that little pot. Do you get that from Hobby Lobby?
I got that from Dollar Tree. It was one singular dollar. Although it doesn't drain, so you put marbles on the bottom and then put dirt in and then it'll drain. Well, it drains into the marbles or whatever.
Oh my gosh.
So,
love that.
My hyacinth is doing its best.
Sorry to interrupt here real quick, but I see a lot of people walking around outside in the pouring rain, and they're dressed exactly like me, like shorts and t-shirt, and I feel really bad for a lot of them right now, just because it's coming down pretty good.
It's about to be me.
It's about to be me too. You at least are lucky you're in the studio until 6. So if you are liking what you're hearing and us, casually, haphazardly speaking about sports, Connor more eloquently than I, keep staying tuned into zone coverage. But thank you so much for tuning in this week to Kutztown Live. I am your host, Laura.
And I am Juliana Jablonski. We'll talk to you next Tuesday.
Stay tuned, only here on KUR.
For Hometown Utelecom Channel 191, Service Electric Lehigh Channel 266. On your smartphone using a free app like TuneIn. You can listen to KUR anywhere you have a phone. Like that landline, just by dialing 563-999-3101. You can also hear your favorite KU Radio programming at any time on Mixcloud.com/KU Radio. It's your favorite shows whenever you want them. KUR, Kutztown University's source for music, talk, and everything in between.
From Feature Story News in Washington, I'm Harry Horton. UK Prime Minister Theresa May has been meeting with French President Emmanuel Macron to discuss a further delay to Brexit. The US is considering imposing tariffs on around $11 billion worth of goods from the European Union, including cheese, olive oil and aircraft. And the International Monetary Fund is forecasting a dip in global economic growth for this year to 3.3%.
Local news continues on your news leader here in northeastern Berks County, KUR Kutztown. You've heard the public service announcement aired quite frequently in recent days here on Kutztown University Radio. The Pennsylvania State System of Higher Education, or PASHE, is launching a special message called Prepared for PA to bring awareness to the direct impact PASHE universities have on local businesses and economies and the impact graduates have